Let's take a look at the Suzuki main event starting grid. This is the 250, the big show. Larry Ward's out there, Keith Johnson, Josh Demuth, Doug DeHaan, Brian Mason, Casey Lytle's in there, as well as Ryan Clark will be handling cameraman duties. Tyler Evans, Chad Reed, Sean Hamlin, Ernesto Fonseca, and Ricky Carmichael, and Travis Preston, also Clark Stiles and Greg Schnell.
And you know, Hamlin had a great heat race win. That's his first, and he's lined up between Reed and Carmichael.
The 30 board is sideways. We are set to go racing in Houston. The 250 main is off the line. Let's look and see who gets the SXGP.com hole shot. Looks like Larry Ward is going to pick up with Clark Stiles on the inside.
And Carmichael was hung up in the first corner.
Carmichael, oh goodness, it's Carmichael in dead last. He got hung up with Nick Way, number 27, and Ricky Carmichael is an absolute dead last. We'll have to find out where Chad Reed is. He's not in the front. He's about 9 positions back. Let's watch the assault of Ricky Carmichael. But right now it is Larry Ward and Clark Stiles out in front. And another pile-up.
Well, Hamlin, watch Hamlin on the back of Reed. He almost goes down right here. High sides, oh, almost goes down. And it was Preston who did a little swap right there, and then Ricky got covered up in tough blocks, and Chad Reed was able to sneak out of there before Ricky got going.
I don't think it would have been so bad, but Nick Way was sitting on his back tire. Ricky couldn't pull away from him. Ricky has now picked up 2 positions, goes past Thomas and Way, so he moves up a little bit. But the race right now is Larry Ward out in front with Clark Stiles, a teammate, right behind him, and $1,500 goes to Larry Ward, his 3rd SXGP.com hole shot of the season. Ernesto Fonseca's in 3rd, and there's Tyler Evans. This is an amazing race. No Chad Reed, no Ricky Carmichael, and the Hondas are going 1, 2, and 3.
Well, what's amazing is that you've got a privateer Honda team, basically. The Moto Triple X guys running 1st and 2nd, and Yoshimura Honda hooking up. No problem for those guys off the start. You know, it's early, but wouldn't it be something if Larry Ward could win this thing?
We're pulling for him.
He's just the guy to do it, too, to just, you know, coming off of a Ford last week. I think if Reed and Carmichael get into it a little bit, they get into racing each other and not forward somewhere in their battle to the front, then, yeah, Ward can hold off Fonseca and Evans and Casey Lytle and guys like that, no problem.
But let's pan back, if we can, back to Ricky Carmichael. He has picked up an amazing 10 positions. Carmichael has moved up so fast, passing riders right and left. This is an amazing performance. Look at this guy. Carmichael is flying ahead as we look on. Carmichael working his way around the back. There's Chad Reed. He has no idea what's coming. He's working on Casey Lytle right now.
Chad Reed working his way around Lytle as Carmichael is trying to work his way to the front behind him. Carmichael just put a gnarly move on Greg Schnell to move up a position as Chad did. So this kind of reminds me of the U.S. Open last year where Reed and Carmichael, it wasn't for the win, but somewhere during this race, I think Ricky and Chad are going to end up visiting each other on their way to the front, which is still occupied by the Moto Triple X guys. Ward and Stiles are not getting any pressure at all from Fonseca. But believe me, Chad Reed behind Evans right now, Fonseca's going to feel that. And then he's going to feel Ricky next. We're still early in the race.
Larry Ward continues to lead this race. Right behind him is Clark Stiles. Ernesto Fonseca sits in 3rd. Ward's last Supercross win came in 1999 in the Emerald City of Seattle, Washington. And what a great story it'd be to see Larry Ward pick up the victory. We're going to step aside momentarily, but when we come back to Houston, Texas, more of this incredible 250 main event. Stay with us. This is the 250 main event from Houston, Texas, Reliant Stadium. If you missed the start, Ricky Carmichael crashing on the opening lap, goes to dead last. Since then, he has been on an absolute tear, working his way up through, but Larry Ward on the Honda right now. He picked up the whole shot. He is leading. Right behind him is Ernesto Fonseca. And let's send it down to Cameron Steele one more time. He's with Chet Hodges. He's Larry Ward's mechanic.
All right, guys, I caught up with Chet Hodges, Larry Ward's mechanic. Chet, how's Larry going to do it? Can he put it together, 20 solid laps?
Yeah, I think he's got it in him. You know, he's got a good start, and he's looking really good. He's staying up there. You know, they're not really catching him, so I think he's going to hang in there.
He's won before. Here's the trivia question. When did he win last?
You know, the last race I know that he won probably was Washougal last year.
Oh, you're going outdoors on me. Guys, it's been a long time since Larry Ward's won a Supercross, but it sure would be great. He's a huge fan favorite.
All right, thank you very much, Cameron.
That just muscled his way in there. It's like, get out of the way, and I got to win this race.
Chad Reed certainly hoping now that he can get past Larry Ward, and Ricky Carmichael is hoping that Larry Ward can hold Chad Reed up.
Reed's little look over there in the air off that triple just to make sure that Fonseca didn't have a run at him and block past him in the corner.
Look at the pass one more time.
Well, now you got Reed closing in on Larry Ward fast.
Well, here's the difference. Chad Reed is on that two-stroke Yamaha, and he's absolutely flying. He's got all the confidence in the world. He won last week in St. Louis. Huffman, 32 years of age, on board a four-stroke Honda.
So as we watch the battle, Reed closing up on Larry Ward, Carmichael just went around Styles. Now he's up into fourth.
Wow.
So you got all the guys we expected to be up front except Larry Ward. Of course, you know, no slight to him. He's capable of running up close to the front, but really raining on these top factory riders' parade right now.
Well, Ricky Carmichael and Chad Reed both turning laps in the 47s. Everyone else are turning laps in the 49s. And here comes Chad Reed, just trying to make a pass around Ward. He ups for the inside line, and he gets past Larry Ward using some tremendous work on that bike. And now he's going to try to check out with 12 laps to go. It is Chad Reed in front, Larry Ward in second, Ernesto Fonseca in third, and here comes Carmichael.
And you can bet that those Hondas in front of Ricky are going to get the heck out of the way.
One more time down to Cameron Steeles with Mike Gosler, Ricky Carmichael's mechanic.
Mike, I see you giving lap times. Is it enough for him to catch the leader?
He's pulling about a second a lap. We still got 11 laps to go. We'll see what happens, you know.
We know Ricky's a smart racer. What will he do in this circumstance? Charge for the lead, or?
I don't know. I think he's looking at the big picture, you know.
Championship is what matters here.
That's what's important.
Thanks, Mike. We'll see how it works out.
Thanks.
Chad Reed is trying to get as far away as he can from these guys. He looks over his shoulder right there as he enters that left-hand turn. He sees the three Hondas, the trio of redcoats coming to track down the lone Yamaha. And what a lonely young man Chad Reed has been, with both teammates, David Villeman and Tim Ferry, out with ailments. And here come the Hondas. So Chad Reed, we'll find out what he's made of. We know how fast he is. Can he keep his composure?
Well, what's impressive me is that Carmichael was able to turn the fastest lap of the race in traffic. You know, I think Reed will be able to check out now and get some clean laps, but it's surprising me that Ricky's involved in this jam up. He gets around his teammate all right. He should get Larry here at the end. He'll stay about 5 feet lower off the triple and set it up. So the crowd goes crazy. I mean, it's so predictable how fast Reed and Carmichael, you just know where they're going to make the moves.
Fonseca picks up a position as well. So Fonseca sits in third where he finished last week. And now the battle continues. Ricky Carmichael, how much speed does he have in that Honda? Chad Reed, how far can he check out ahead? I'll tell you what, folks, what turned out to be, or what we thought would be just a terrible race with Carmichael in dead last on the first lap, Chad Reed in eighth, has turned out to be exactly what America's wanted. Chad Reed and Ricky Carmichael battling in the 250 main like we saw last week. We're going to step aside one more time. When we come back to Reliant Stadium, we'll have the conclusion of the 250 main. Chad Reed continues to lead. Welcome back to Houston, Texas. Ricky Carmichael, RC number 4, is on the move. He is trying to track down Chad Reed, who continues to lead. We'll get a stopwatch on Carmichael and Reed, and it looks like it's just under 3 seconds, the advantage for Chad Reed over Ricky Carmichael right now. And I'll tell you what, Houston has delivered some tremendous performances, David. You know, the little professor, folks, he dominated back in 1984. McGrath was a 5-time winner here. Mark Barnett, the Bomber, a 5-time winner. Bob Hurricane Hanna, a 5-time winner. And Jeff Ward, a 4-time winner. Can't forget David Bradshaw. And Ricky Carmichael is a 2-time winner in Houston. So Houston has been very, very good to the likes of guys like you, real champions who've done well in the Lone Star State.
Well, Ricky's done well here. Chad he doesn't care about records, you know? I mean, the guy he's riding well now. These guys are both in the clear. Both Chad and Ricky, they don't have anybody to deal with. They've only got a couple of lapped riders, and they may not encounter those guys for 2 more laps. So now it's just who's faster.
5 laps to go in this 250 main event from Reliant Stadium in Houston, Texas. Your current leader, Chad Reed, number 22 on board the Yamaha out of Australia. Behind him, number 4, Ricky Carmichael. from Havana, Florida, the two-time defending champion on board the Honda. And I'll tell you what, folks, if you're just joining us, both these guys have done a tremendous job. Carmichael closing in on Reed. Carmichael was dead last in lap number 1. Reed in 8th position. And here they are running 1 and 2. A true testament as we look at the Honda stopwatch to just how talented and fast these guys are. Let's check in with Cameron. He's with Dave Dye, Chad Reed's mechanic.
Well, Dave, Chad's on a roll. He didn't get the greatest start, but he needs to capitalize on Ricky's misfortune. But unfortunately, Ricky's rushing up as well.
Yeah, Chad had some bad luck, but Ricky had worse luck, so we got to capitalize on it and try to get as many points as we can.
You guys need someone to get in between you and Ricky if you guys want this championship, am I right?
Yeah, we need a lot of people to get in between us.
All right, we'll see how it works out.
Thanks.
All right, thank you very much, Cameron.
Chad's seen something that we only get to see once in a while. We saw it last year at Pontiac when he crashed and came from last and almost won, and we're seeing it again tonight. If he can get around Chad Reed, man, he is just really proven. He doesn't need to prove anything. I mean, it's incredible what he's already done, but the amount of resolve and the intensity that he has when he doesn't really need it, he does it anyway. That's what makes Ricky so amazing to watch, because you know he's going to give it everything he's got.
Well, a lot of lap riders coming up that Chad Reed will have to encounter right here. That's advantage Carmichael. He'll get to them as well, but that'll slow Chad Reed down for just a second. Tyler Evans is in front of Chad Reed right now. Here's a guy that doesn't like to give away anything to anyone, especially becoming a lap rider. So Tyler Evans becomes the next victor for Chad Reed, and they get very close together as they go over that triple. Carmichael starting to reel in. Chad Reed takes a quick glance over his shoulder and sees number 4 RC in the unfamiliar blue coming in very fast. And Carmichael looked quicker in that whoop section, David.
He did, but I mean, I'm seeing some edge. I'm seeing a lot of it. And Ricky, you know, I mean, he's the kind of guy that can get away with riding on the edge more times than anybody else. You certainly can't fault him for trying that hard. It's worked so many times, but if I had to pick which guy I'd rather watch right now and keep all my fingernails and hair and what hair I have from turning gray, I'd rather watch Chad Reed. Looks a little bit more steady. Ricky looks panicked, like I got to get up there. Time looks like it's the last lap for him. And you know what? I think that's how fast you have to go to catch Reed right now. Reed is going that fast, but if you're going to go faster, it's not going to look good.
Well, Chad Reed seems some very friendly blue, not the Carmichael blue, but he's boss now, becomes the human roadblock for Ricky Carmichael. He'll have to give way. That's what those blue flags with the X's through, which means leading rider coming through, give way. And Carmichael right now is trying to get around boss, and this is doing nothing but helping Chad Reed as Carmichael gives him a little bit of a look. I don't know about the team riding orders, but it sure helped out Chad for just a second. And that with 2 laps to go, David, it may come down to this. It may come down to like a 10-yard finish.
It did look like Boss got out of the way, though. He looked at him over the triple and went wide and gave the line to Ricky, so that was fair. They got another Yamaha rider coming up, Greg Schnell. And then they'll be lapping all the way up to 9th place, Sean Hamlin. That's how fast these guys are going. Imagine where they'd be up into the pack if they got a good start.
Well, I can't reiterate it enough, but Ricky Carmichael started in dead last after falling.
There's the battle
on board.
There's Reed, there's Ricky. That's your race. Oh, this is good.
Ryan Clark providing the helmet cam, Team Solitaire Yamaha rider. Carmichael just cannot seem to close that 2-second gap. And this is one amazing race with the white flag coming out. 1 lap to go. Carmichael has got to find a way to get Chad Reed on this lap, or Reed will pick up his 2nd consecutive win. I almost want to ask everyone to pull off the road and just let these guys go at it.
The crowd cannot believe it. Everybody is standing. The noise is building. And these riders can hear it. Chad's got to put a perfect lap together, and he should be able to do it without any lap riders.
Well, more than 40,000 Texans have turned out tonight to see this epic battle, and it has turned into just that as the Yamaha guys encourage their boy to go on. And Ricky Carmichael starting to close in just a little bit. Reed makes a bottle, takes a look over his left shoulder. Here comes Carmichael. He's got to make something happen right here. It's going to be all Chad Reed, and I think Ricky's just run out of real estate.
Unbelievable.
Chad Reed picks up the win in Houston. Carmichael 2nd. And folks, I'll tell you what, from start to finish, one of the most exciting races of all time. Ricky Carmichael coming from dead last to make this race, these last 7 or 8 laps, just amazing. And Carmichael, I think, is probably just disgusted. He's just so frustrated of what could have been.
Yeah, people are going, hey, nice job. He's like, you know what? I don't want to hear it. I don't. Just go stand away from me for a minute. Let me just absorb this loss on my own, what could have been. You know, to give a couple of these wins to Chad. I mean, there he is. He's not even looking at Gosler. He's just listening, going, yeah, I know, I know.
We'll step aside. When we come back, we'll have official results from this 250 main. Plus, we'll talk with our winner right after this. Houston, Texas, and Reliant Stadium. What a great race we just witnessed. Chad Reed picks up the victory. Ricky Carmichael just runs out of laps. He gets second. Fonseca third, and then it's Larry Ward who got the whole shot in fourth, and Nick Way rounding out your top five. Let's go down and check in with Cameron.
Woo! Could you feel the pressure? I could. I know this guy was thinking about Chad Reed, his 5th win on the season. Chad, I want to ask you, did you know that Ricky Carmichael was charging back from a last place start?
Yeah, you know, going into the first corner, both of us were going in there together. I'm like, all right, this will be another good race. And then somebody went down, and Ricky had nowhere to go. And then I ran into Ricky and stood on him, and I was like, oh, well, I got to make the most of it, you know, and try and get some points. And I just charged hard, and you know, those first couple of laps, I was just being careful because I knew Ricky went down, and I didn't want to put myself on the ground. There's a lot of people going down, and I don't like being at the back like that.
Right on, a win is a win. Chad Reed, a brilliant job tonight. Congratulations, you guys. Awesome race, and I love it when they start getting close at the end of the race. That's what we're looking for. Another great job by Chad Reed.
All right, thank you, Cameron. As we take a look at our Honda current overall standings, Ricky Carmichael, 279. Chad Reed picking up a few more points. It's at 260. Then Villeman Ferry and Ezra Lusk, your top five. Let's send it back down to Cameron.
Well, in Phoenix, he missed the podium with the 4th place. Tonight, he gets up in last place after first turn crash, charges back to second. A great race, but the champ shaking his head. Ricky, what happened in the first corner?
You know, I got an okay jump, and the 4-strokes got out in front of me, and I ran in the back of Travis Press, and like somebody hit him, and then he fell, and I ran into him, and that was the end of it right there. I felt good all night. You know, I felt like I had good lines, and especially in the main events, and you know, it's just really frustrating for me. I had a good thing going, and in the last 2 weeks, I've, you know, got 2 seconds and losing points. As far as the championship goes, I feel comfortable and confident, but, you know, I want to win, and I don't plan on dragging this thing out to Vegas.
Ricky, I know you're disappointed, but it was a brilliant ride. Congratulations anyway.
Thanks a lot. It was a good race, fun to come from behind. You know, sometimes you can't win everything. It's nice, but Chad knew I was coming, and sometimes that works on you a little bit.
All right, thank you very much, Cameron, as we take a look at the THQ World Supercross GP standings, and there it is. Chad Reed still atop the board, but what a great race tonight at Houston's Reliant Stadium.